Okay. Hopefully most of you are back. So let's continue. So the next chapter in our lecture is stashing changes. And I lost my, yeah, here is my mouse. Okay, so sometimes we are actually in a situation when we want to temporarily store the modifications we have done in our working directory or the modifications that we have staged already. And that can happen, for example, if we want to move the head to a commit, which we've done previously, either with git checkout or some other command. Git checkout, for example, cannot always restore the working tree, although it will try to do that. But the better solution is, or better practice is, to actually store whatever changes we have done in the working directory or the index to the so-called stash. So stash is an additional place compared to the working directory, the index, and our commits, where we store temporary changes. And those changes, the changes in the working directory or the index. So let's assume that we want to check out to a certain hash back in time, and we do have a change in the README MD. So what git checkout is going to warn about is that the local changes that we have in the file will be overwritten by the checkout. So then git checkout is actually not going to work, and it will Git will prompt us to either commit the changes that we have in our working directory or to stash them before we move to a different commit. And the way we can do that is by using the command git stash. So we can stash this the state of the working directory and the index using the git stash command. And if we do that, then git checkout. So when we do that, git stash, so it will save the working directory, the changes in the working directory and in the index, and it's going to clean the working directory in the index. So we'll have it in a pristine state, and then we can git checkout to another commit without any errors. Okay, if we do want to see the stashes that we have saved, then we add the argument list to git stash. So git stash list will list all the stashes that we have saved. So the different saves of our working directories and indexes at different points in time. And together with the stash index is also shown the commit. So the commit that the head was pointing to when we have performed the git stash command. So in this case, we were at this commit and we have stashed the modifications that we have done. Okay. So if we want to show what a particular stash contains, then we use the command git stash show and followed by the index of that particular stash. So in this case, there is one file that has been changed. It was the readme MD file. We can also use it together with the option -p, and we'll have more information, but yeah, I usually just use it with git stash show 0. Yes, Lucas?
Sorry, I'm a bit confused. I thought that was the purpose of the log. Is the stash different for the log?
So the log,
confused.
yeah. So I will explain. A very good question. So the log shows all the commits. So all so it will so the different commits are just snapshots of our working directory in different point in time. But the moment we have done the commit, then well, the index is going to be cleaned as well, and so the point of the stash is really if we want to save the state of the working directory. So let's say we have new modifications in the files that we are not ready to commit yet. And we have also some modifications we have staged, but still we are not ready to commit yet. But we just want to take a break in our work, stash away these changes to the working directory, well, to any files we've done in the working directory, any changes that we have stashed, that we have staged, put them away for a while, and then maybe continue to work on some other branch or just investigate the commit which was at some other point in time. So it's like a temporary storage for our files which are not committed. We could, of course, commit these changes and then do a git checkout. But let's assume that we are not ready to stage them because maybe we want to do more modifications, or we are unsure if these should actually go in a commit or not. And that is when we do want to use stash.
Okay, so stash is something even before staged. It's like I'm not very confident, so maybe
Exactly.
I just do.
So the stash is only for modifications in the working directory and staged files, but which are not yet committed.
I thought like the stash was not staged changes.
You can when you stash by default, you will have both the state of the working directory and the index. You can choose only to stash the working directory, and you can keep the state of the index when you do that, and we'll see that. But you do stash everything. I
Okay.
mean, you do stash both the changes in the working directory and the index.
You when you say like index, you mean the staged file, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thanks.
So if we want to bring back what we have stashed, we do that using the command git stash pop without any argument that this will just bring back what we have stashed most recently. And also important is that once we pop back the entry from the stash, then this entry is dropped. So we will not see that with git stash list anymore. If we do want to keep the entry, so let's say we are not sure if we should remove it altogether from the stash, then the option to use is apply followed by the stash ID. So that is going to keep the stash in the list. So git stash will stash away these files that are added to the index in addition to the ones in the working directory, but and then clean the working directory and the index. But if you do want to keep the index or the staging area as it is, so if you want to keep your staged modifications, then you should add the options keep index. So then what git stash is going to do is it's going to stash away the modified files in the working directory, but it will leave the staging area untouched. So all the staged files or stage modifications that you already have will be kept there. And this is convenient, for example, if you have both if you have both some staged modifications, but also some modifications that you have not staged yet, but you are not but you do not want to commit yet, then you can just keep the index, stash away some modifications, maybe do some additional changes to your working directory, and then stage and commit. Okay, so these are just some brainstorming. You can check that later if you want. So how can we make changes to the commit tree? We did see that git reset is going to is dangerous in the sense that it's going to override. Well, it's going to move the head to a new reference that is specified, and if the head was pointing to a tip of a branch, then it will also move the branch reference. So, for example, if I move from C to A, then these two commits will be gone from git log, and I can only refer to them with the ref log. Now, if I want, for example, to discard the latest commit, let's say I've done a mistake or I just realized it's incomplete or whatever, then I do reset head followed by the option tilde. So head tilde is just the previous commit. If I want to keep the changes in the working directory, then I'm going to add this option mixed to git reset. Okay. If I want to discard the changes in the working directory as well, then again, I should use the option --hard. So this unstages everything and also removes the changes in the working directory, and it's going to change the head reference to head tilde, which means the previous commit. So the latest commit is then gone. Okay, so let's assume that we are in a situation where we have done a series of commits. So we have these A, B, C commits. The C is the latest one, and I have modified. I'm sorry. This commit contains a modified program.py script. But then I realized that actually it contains a mistake. Or maybe I should have added another file to this commit C. So what I want to do is to alter the contents of this commit after I have actually performed the commit. And the way so let's assume, yes, for example, sorry, that I should have added the file txt to this commit, which was not there. So then what I can do is, okay, I can stage this missing modification. So git add file txt, and I can see that, okay, I have staged that file, and the second step is to amend the commit. And by default, it's going to amend the head. So the commit that the head is pointing to. So git commit followed by the option -- amend. So what this will actually do is to remove the commit from the history, but it's going to keep the index of that commit, so all the modifications that we have introduced in that commit, and then it's going to combine it with what we have staged before doing git amend. So it's going to stage in this case also this file txt. It's going to combine the modifications in program.py and file txt, and it will make a new commit, and this is going to change the hash of the commit that we had previously to a new hash. So sorry, but I had another graph for this. But yeah, so we will have a new commit with these combined modifications that we had in commit C and also what we have staged before doing git commit amend. So this is, for example, useful if you have, for example, if you just want to add more information to the commit message, or if you, well, actually forgot a file, or yeah, whatever you want to amend to a particular commit. What is good to know is that because the hash of the commit is changed by you doing this command, it means that you rewrite the history of your commits. And you should preferably not use this command if you already shared your repository with someone else. So it's okay to do git amend to, well, recent commits, or do amends in branches that you have not shared with others yet. But there has to be a very good reason to amend commits which are already shared with other persons. Okay, and git command actually means resetting the head to the parent commit, and then adding any changes to the staging any changes that you may wish to have, and then do git commit C original head. This just means that keep information from the commit orig head, and in terms of author and commit message, and just build on top of that. Okay, but this is a bit advanced, so maybe we can just move on. So we discussed git revert a bit before. So both reset and amend, git commit amend, change history of commits. But if you want to modify commits that have been already pushed to a common repository and people have been using it for a while, and you do not want to change the history of that commit, so you do not want to remove commits that have already been there in the history, one very good way of doing that is git revert. So git revert simply takes the changes that have been done in a commit. So let's say you added an extra line, or you modified the different files. Git revert followed by the hash of a given commit is going to revert the changes that have been introduced in that commit. And what we are going to have is actually a additional commit that simply reverted back the changes that have been introduced. So here we reverted the modifications introduced in this particular commit. After doing git revert, we have a new commit, but still this old bad commit is still in the history. So we have not modified the history of our commits, the git log. Okay, so now it's time for exercises, and you find the exercises in the same folder that you worked with before. So it's course, git intro git, git materials L4. No, it's 4, sorry, 4 commits. And then you have the different directories numbered in functional numbered with respect to the exercise that you should be doing. And I do recommend you do them in order. There are solutions if you get stuck, although I do recommend that you try to do them on your own first. And then the solutions anyway are there if you need to check later. But yeah, let's see. Let's open some rooms